If you're looking for a budget smart lock that supports Matter and works with Apple Home, then the new Aqara U50 smart lock might just be the best option for you. And in this video, we'll look at all the useful features that this lock has, and at the end of the video, I'll share my overall thoughts on this smart lock. Starting with the many ways that you can unlock and lock the door. There's a matte keypad with beautiful, easy to read numbers for 6 to 10 digit passcodes. Though I don't like how you have to tap once to wake the screen, then type in the code. I wish you could just start typing your code in right away. The passcodes on the Aqara smart lock can be created in the Aqara app, either locally without a hub for one-time use, or with an Aqara hub, periodic passcodes can be created valid between a certain time period, locally and remotely. This is good for people who only come by every so often, like maybe a babysitter, a friend, or this could also be used for an Airbnb, and the passcodes do work when the internet is offline. Logs are also available that shows when and how the device was unlocked or locked, and alerts like if the lock gets jammed, and a calendar of days to choose from to view past events. Now on Aqara's more expensive smart lock, the U100, there is a fingerprint sensor under the keypad that works well and is fast, but to save costs, Aqara has replaced this on the U50 with this away mode button that can be used in automations, and we'll dive deeper into this later on in the video. There's other ways to unlock the door as well, like with a NFC card and a USB-C port for emergency backup. Inside this compartment here that slides down is access for a physical key. 2 keys are included in the box, which do look different from the keys you get with the more expensive lock, the Aqara U100. Now, one feature I'm surprised to see with this budget smart lock is the ability to rekey the lock. So you can use your existing house keys with this smart lock without having to use the keys that come with the Aqara smart lock. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this process is a bit over my head and a bit too complicated for me. So if you do want to learn how to rekey your lock, then Eric from Modern Day Tech made a great tutorial video on this, and I'll leave that video down in the description below. Now, another feature I was really surprised to see on an affordable smart lock is auto lock. The smart lock uses a built-in gyroscope to detect when the door is opened or closed, and can automatically lock back either immediately, after a delay, between certain times of day, and even play an alarm if the door is left unlocked after a certain period of time. This is helpful if you forget to lock the door after closing it back. Although this feature is technically still in beta, in fact it's been in beta for over a year now, it does work pretty well, though it has a few minor quirks. If the door is open for a long period of time without being closed, say like if you're going in and out of the house and need to leave the door propped open, like if you're bringing in groceries, then the door will not auto lock back. It's like it times out or something, and I don't know how long the timeout period is. This happened to me and I had to manually lock the door, then open the door and close it for the auto lock to start working again. The U50 also supports AutoSense for notifying you when the door detects it's physically opened or left opened, closed, locked, or unlocked without using additional sensors like you would find with more expensive brands of smart locks. As you can tell, there's many ways you can unlock and lock the door, allowing for anybody to choose whichever way is most convenient for them. The most convenient way I found to unlock the door is actually by using my iPhone or Apple Watch with Apple's Home Key feature. This creates a virtual door key card in the Wallet app that allows you to use your iPhone or Apple Watch to unlock or even lock your door just by tapping your device on the smart lock, so you don't have to carry around any physical keys. You can choose to require authentication to unlock the door, or enable express mode to have it unlock or lock without requiring authentication. Now keep in mind that this does mean that if somebody were to steal your phone and express mode is enabled, they would be able to unlock your door. Express mode is especially handy if you have an Apple Watch and if your hands are full. You don't have to get out your phone to unlock the door. You can just tap it with your watch, which is so cool. If your phone is dead, then your home keys are still available so you can unlock or lock your door. With home key enabled, all unlocking methods like the keypad or physical key will still work. Anybody you give access to or share your HomeKit home with will automatically receive the ability to use this digital key card in the Wallet app. Home keys cannot be shared with anybody. It's only whenever you share your entire HomeKit home with somebody will you be able to basically give them a home key card. The Aqara U50 Smart Lock natively works with Apple Home using Bluetooth without requiring an Aqara hub. Now with this does come the limitations of Bluetooth, like being slower to respond when you're not within range of the lock. Whereas if this lock supported Thread or Wi-Fi, it would be able to respond a little bit more faster and would have longer range for control. You can use the Aqara lock solely in the Apple Home app and not the Aqara app by scanning the HomeKit code on the back of the inside faceplate. But you will not be able to use most of the features that this lock has, like auto lock, software updates, and recurring passcodes that are only available in the Aqara app. In the Apple Home app, you're also able to create a 6 to 10 digit passcode for residents and guests. Residents are anybody you currently share your entire HomeKit home and all your devices with, and you'll create an access code for them in the home settings. Guests are people you want to have the ability to only unlock your door and not be able to control any of your devices in your home. You might use this for people like your friends, your family, a babysitter, or even for an Airbnb. The codes in the Home app cannot be set to recurring. They are only permanent and can be enabled or disabled per guest and per lock. With either option you choose, you can receive an alert from the Home app when the door is unlocked, and the person's name who unlocked the door if a passcode was used that was created in the Home app or if HomeKey was used, as well as receiving an alert on an Apple TV with the person's name. And this is just so cool. Now, a HomeKit hub is required to create and manage codes remotely, control the lock and see the status of it remotely, and to use this lock in automations in the Apple Home app. This can either be a supported HomePod, HomePod Mini, or Apple TV. Otherwise, you can manage codes and control the lock when you are in Bluetooth range of the smart lock, but the lock cannot be used in automations in the Apple Home app, and codes cannot be created remotely. To keep things organized, I would recommend creating recurring or timed access codes in the Aqara app for people who don't use the lock every day, like babysitters, and then use the Home app for creating codes that get used every day, like with a spouse or with kids. And since this lock works with Apple Home, you'll be able to control this lock using Siri on your Apple Watch, iPhone, Apple TV, but not a HomePod since the lock is considered a secure accessory. The Aqara U50 Smart Lock also supports Apple Home, Amazon, and Google's smart home platforms via Zigbee using one of Aqara's hubs, and uses Matter to connect it to all these other platforms. To use Matter technology, you'll first pair the lock to an Aqara hub, then you can expose the hub to Matter and then add it to all other smart home platforms. But if you already have other Aqara devices connected to an Aqara hub and connected to Google or Amazon by using the skills from each platform, then I would not recommend adding the Aqara U50 Smart Lock to Matter, as this would require you to reset up all your devices you already have connected to each smart home platform. If the lock is already in Apple Home and you want to use Matter technology, then you'll have to reset the lock and reset it up in any automations that you may have. A Matter controller is also required for each ecosystem you want to use this lock in, and I think Matter technology is still in the early stage and super buggy and not as reliable as just logging into your Aqara account using the Amazon or Google skill and having your devices automatically sync over. This way, if you have the lock connected to Apple Home, then you can add the lock to something like Amazon and not have to reset up the lock or reset up any automations. This is what I personally do with Aqara devices that I want to use with Amazon. It works more reliably than using Matter technology, and I would personally not recommend using this smart lock with Matter for those specific reasons. Next, let's look at some pretty cool automations that you can create with this lock if you have other Aqara devices or even other smart home devices. A basic example is having a light turn on outside when the door is unlocked at night. To take things up a notch, you can even have different automations run based on who unlocked the door. So if I unlock the door, then it could turn off the live feed of an Aqara camera. But if my wife unlocks the door, then it could play a welcoming sound on an Aqara hub. If you have an Aqara doorbell, then when someone presses the doorbell, you'll be able to view who is at your door and unlock the smart lock. The away button on the front of the lock can be used to automatically arm a security system on one of Aqara's hubs that can be synced to AwayGuard to use other car devices to trigger an alarm. So if you had a contact sensor on a window or front door and it was opened while the security system was in away mode, then the hub could play an alarm. Now, I will say that these specific automations can only be created in the Aqara app, since these types of automations are not supported in other smart home platforms like in the Apple Home app. Now, let's look at reliability and battery life. How reliable has the Aqara U50 Smart Lock been for me over the last few days? Well, so far it's worked well for me, and I've not had any major offline issues with the U50 lock that I had actually with the more expensive U100 Smart Lock. Battery life has been great so far with 4 AA batteries. I'm still at about 100% after testing and recording footage and using a mix of HomeKey and passcodes. And of course, battery life does vary on many factors, and only time will tell for this. I'm actually replacing my Aqara U100 Smart Lock for the U50 for the next 6 months, and I'll be making a follow-up video sharing my experience of how reliable the Smart Lock is, how the battery life is, and other things like that. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you will not miss out on that video. As you can tell, the Aqara U50 has lots of useful features for being a budget smart lock. But there are some things that I do not like about this. For one, as far as design wise, I really do like this black color, but one of the cons with a dark color is that fingerprints and smudges do show up easily, which is not really that big of a deal. The second thing I don't like about this lock is that the thumb turn is very loose between the unlock and lock position. I had the same problem with the Aqara's more expensive smart lock, but the U50 is way worse. And there's no setting to really adjust it to make it feel not so loose. This does not affect how the lock works, just how the lock looks. Next, let's talk about price and availability. The Aqara U50 Smart Lock retails for $149.99 and the U100 Smart Lock retails for $189.99. Both of these locks go on sale fairly often and are available now globally. If you're looking for a budget smart lock that supports Apple Home and HomeKey, then the Aqara U50 Smart Lock is a fantastic option. It supports many unlocking methods like a touchscreen and physical key, giving you and other people different options to unlock the door, and it works well in Apple Home. Now, if you want a fingerprint reader, then the Aqara U100 does have this, but does not offer rekeying, which is where you can have your existing house keys work with this lock, if that's a feature that you want or may need. Otherwise, I'd say the Aqara U50 is a great choice and does almost everything the Aqara U100 Smart Lock can do at a much more affordable price. And again, I am replacing my Aqara U100 Smart Lock with the U50 for the next 6 months. And I'll be making a follow-up video sharing my experience with that. So make sure to hit that subscribe button right there so you will not miss out on that video. But anyways, I would love to know what you guys think about the Aqara U50 Smart Lock. Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.